So finally, we got the internet installed yesterday. The installer and the technicians were here. They had the ladder and everything with it. So they went up and they hooked up everything and they drilled in the wall. And the lady, we agreed that she pays $20 and I pay, I think it's 20 or $21. So she's gonna pay half of it. That's the agreement. And because the rent was 800, so now she said you can pay me 780. And yeah, finally we got that thing going on. So I'll show you where it's located. I'm gonna turn this around. So yeah, this is the internet box. I put it on the floor and I put a painter's tape on it because it blinks, and at night it gives me a hard time to fall asleep because something is blinking. I don't know. It was on the dresser first, but he said you can put it on the floor, it doesn't matter. So yeah, and he put the cable way back here. They drilled on the in the wall. And for the installation, I had to pay the $100 because she said she don't need it, but she's gonna pay the monthly $20. And since the dresser is lower than the bed, the mattress, I figured I had this crate with me because I had stuff in it, so I want to make it a little higher. So you be creative, you use your imagination, you put something to make it higher. So it bothers you. So it's like something low. The TV is supposed to be higher than where you're sitting. I have a chair there, but sometimes I watch TV at night also. So that's the thing with that. So that was taken care of finally. So finally now I have the internet. They were late. I thought they were not gonna show up, probably because they're not reliable. But I didn't wanna complain. I was like, I'm not gonna call them again, be on the phone for a couple of hours. But then they showed up half hour late, and that was done, got out of the way. And yeah, she got some rules. I mean, her lifestyle, um, because this is like she don't rent a room like to people come and go, but so she likes doing things her way. Like for example, she has a laundry machine and she has a dryer, but she says she don't use the dryer. She has a rope outside, and then she put the clothes on there on a nice sunny day for it to dry. Well, let me know, how would you handle that situation? Would you say, "Oh no, I'm entitled. I need the basic needs. I want to use a dryer," or you would say, "Okay, I'm gonna adjust to this lifestyle, even though this is not my cup of tea." But yeah, well, my in my situation, because I'm originally from Armenia overseas. I lived through wars and situations where we had to do things to, survive in that situation when I was younger, my childhood and my teenage years. So what happens at times, we didn't have electricity for days, and we used to conserve, and we didn't have water for a while. There used to be like days in the week where you used to have water to, do laundry and clean and all that. So what happens is I'm kind of have some training, like if you want to say training, but some people right now, like in this day and age, they're so spoiled. Probably they won't be able to live in this condition. They'll be like, oh my God, I can't live like that. Even though there are some videos that I see, some people they live in a camper, they have to do the laundry outside in a laundromat and things like that. So everybody's different. Some people they can adjust to some lifestyles, you know, whatever you're going through, you have to adjust to that. So for example, I'm used to doing the laundry way back in the day, back in my teenage years. We didn't have a dryer, so we used to wash it in a washing machine and hang it on a rope. So I can adjust that, even though I got used to laundry and dryer. Some things I used to hang on a rope so that they don't shrink or they don't, um, the elastic doesn't wear out. But the thing is, most of the things, the sheets and everything, I usually put it in a dryer. So I'm gonna have to adjust to that because if I start complaining about every little thing, I'm probably gonna go into those back into those places where they have so many people in their house and it's noisy. So I'd rather deal with that. And I'm only gonna be here 3 months, she said, because she's going back up north. So going back to the situation where I lived in a war zone way back in the day. So we had limited water supply because there is war going on. Things get cut off, and so the water we used to fill out the bathtub with water to use it for washing, and also we used to have gallons of water. We used to fill those up for drinking or cooking. So yeah, it's almost like camping. People do when they go camping, I guess. But even with the electricity, we used to use it when we had electricity. So it's not that bad, but yeah, that's what her habit is. She's born in 1940s, so she's still in that old-fashioned mode where you do things way back. I guess some people they didn't change their habits, even though there is technology and things. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to adjust to certain things. Even yesterday, I was trying to vacuum. Those people, the technician, they drilled in that wall. There was lots of debris and things. So I asked her where is the vacuuming, and she had one of those old vacuumings, Electrolux, from the 1970s or 80s. I'm not sure, but it's heavy and it's strong. Yeah. So it's one of those old ones. You can't find these unless you go to an antique store, maybe. But yeah, these are the latest. I want to keep you updated. Let me know if you could survive certain conditions, certain situations you're not used to and you can tolerate. I mean, sometimes you have to because let's say here in Florida we have the hurricane season. We get some areas when it's very bad, we get the electricity cut off and you can't go out for a few days because it's flooded and it's dangerous. There is power downs and debris. So sometimes you have to, because of weather conditions, you have to live with it. So let me know if you ever been in a situation that's uncomfortable and you had to tolerate that and you had to survive it just because you had to, not because it's your choice. Well, this is what I have for you today. Please put a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.